Hello everyone. Today's video is all about the question, who are you going to believe? Before I get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Lynn Schroeder, and I empower men and women to step outside of their comfort zone and begin living a life that they could have never imagined. So on to the subject of who are we going to believe we are? Who are you going to believe you are? Life is so loud, isn't it? And it's filled with voices. It's filled with information. It's filled with solicitation. How many times do you get a phone call of somebody trying to sell you something? It's filled with confrontation. It is filled with people going viral videos, and it's filled with polarizing news. And then it's filled with your own voices, the voices inside of your head, the voices of doubt, the voices of low self-worth, the voices of fear that come at us, the voices telling us that we're unworthy, the voices that try to diffuse our dreams. Voices. It's time for you and I to take charge of our head. Take charge of those voices. When we agree with a lie that we have inside of us, we give it credibility. When we believe that lie, we make it credible and we elevate it. We internalize that lie, that voice, and we let it become a part of who we are and who we act out to the world. I want to talk to you about defining moments. We all have moments in our life that define us. Let me explain what a defining moment is, and then I want you to think about a defining moment in your own life. A defining moment is an event that becomes the tipping point and determines all subsequent related occurrences. Here's an example. Maybe the tipping point in your life is when you got married and it was no longer me, but we. Maybe a tipping point for you was when you had children. Maybe a tipping point was when you graduated with a degree in something. Tipping point. It's that change, that thing that tips it over, that defining moment. So my moment was when I realized that I wasn't born to be ordinary. You weren't either, by the way. I realized that I wasn't born to be ordinary. None of us are or were. And I was challenged with that defining moment. I was challenged to do some scary things. Now, I have a very successful direct marketing business. It's a wonderful blessing in my life. And I attended a workshop about 3 years ago, a workshop retreat that I assumed was going to be something regarding that business to help me make it even better. But lo and behold, I attended this event and it wasn't about my business at all, or businesses like that. It was an event to get you to step outside of your comfort zone, begin believing in yourself, and doing something scary that you know is inside of you and needs to be brought out to the world. So my scary things were, so I've always been, I'm a teacher by trade. I've always had that bent to teach people, to coach people, to edify people, to cheer them on. And I thought I was doing that in the business, and I am in the direct marketing business that I have. But I was challenged to think outside of that box into the realm of coaching, creating a course and courses. I've always had this affinity to writing my thoughts down, to getting my thoughts out. So I was challenged to start coaching, to start creating courses, and to start writing and blogging and speaking in front of people. And I could not get that out of my mind. It was a defining moment because it aligned up with what's already inside of me. And here's what I did. I was scared. I thought, everything's going fine in my life. Why would I want to do this? But what I asked myself, and what I want you to ask yourself, are these two questions. What is the worst thing that can happen if I do that in addition to what I'm already doing? What's the worst thing that could happen? Ask yourself that. And what's the second one was the opposite. What's the best thing that can happen? And as soon as I asked myself that question, the scales tipped, and I knew I needed to pursue what that was inside of me. So here's what I began doing. So the topic of this video is how to believe in yourself. Here's what I began doing, and I want you to take note. Number one, I started believing that it was possible. Whatever your it is, begin to believe that it's possible. Anything is possible. I leaned into that dream of course creation and coaching and blogging and writing and speaking. Lean into it. Believe it's possible. And then I believed that because it was possible, if I started walking in that direction, the path to that success, I like to say that significance, would begin creating itself. That path would start laying out in front of me. Now, yes, I would fall. Yes, I would take detours because that's part of life and that's part of growing. But I believed that it was possible and the path would start going out in front of me. And I didn't have to know every step. That's what I did, number one. Number two, I visualized what that thing looked like. And I actually made sketches. I actually drew a picture of me coaching, creating courses, writing, speaking. And I'm not an artist, but I got it on paper. And I have it. Maybe I'll drop it in the comment section so you can actually see what it looks like. It's quite simple, but it is important to visualize. I have a vision board. When I got it on paper, it became that much more real. Challenge you to do the same thing. The third thing I did, and these are in no particular order, is I acted as if that was already. I was already a coach. I was already a course creator. I was already a blogger. I was already a writer who would write a book someday. I was already a speaker. And I asked myself, how would that person, that speaker, that blogger, that coach, that writer, how would that person do things that I'm about to do? I acted as if it was already. How would that person act? What would that person say? There's a little saying, think like an oak tree, not an acorn. How does an oak tree begin? It begins as an acorn, but it thinks like it's an oak. And that's what you have to do. Stop thinking like an acorn and begin thinking like an oak tree. Then I asked myself, number 4, where do I see myself in 5 years when I am an accomplished this? Write it down. I wrote it down. I started telling people. I started declaring it. There's something about getting it out to people that holds us accountable. So I asked myself, where do I see myself in 5 years? And then I told people what that looks like. And number 5, I began taking action. I realized that I could stay stuck with all these things that started to be sparked inside of me, like I really wanted to do them. I could stay stuck, or I could lean into that. I could run away, or I could run toward. What is it that is inside of you? What can you lean toward instead of running away? Friend, you and I can chase success. We could chase titles, we could chase a paycheck, we could chase a promotion, we could chase all the accolades in the world. And if that's exactly what you are supposed to do, if what you're doing now livens you up inside and you achieve those things, then wonderful. But if what you're doing right now does not make you come alive, then the paycheck, the title, the promotion is going to leave you empty and wanting for more. It will. So deep inside of you and I, each one of us, we know the kind of person we really are. We do. And if we don't, we need to quiet ourselves. I've done lots of videos on this subject. Quiet yourself. Ask yourself questions. But deep down inside, go back and read those blogs. Go deep down inside, we know what kind of person we are. We know our desires. And it's our responsibility to find out who that person is. We were not raised for the ordinary. Yes, we can have parents who were humble and wanted the simple life like I did. And I want that too. I want to be humble. I want to be grateful. I want to be satisfied. But we're not created to be ho-hum and ordinary. We were created for an amazing life. We were born with a gift, and that gift is, in some form or fashion, to make the world a better place by using what's inside of us and giving it to the world. Here's a statement that I want you to really take to heart. You and I need to nurture the nature that's inside of us. The true nature, we need to nurture it and start asking, what am I supposed to do with that? So if you got some value out of this, or if you are in that stage where you're not sure what this means, but yet you have this longing, please reach out to me. I coach people on this. I'm already that coach that I said I would be. So I coach people on these subjects, so reach out to me. Or save this video and play it often and do those 5 steps. Take action. Ask yourself where you see yourself. Visualize, believe it's possible, and act like the oak tree and not the acorn. If you got value out of this, then share it with a friend. Share it or tag somebody that you know. Thank you so much. I welcome you to check out my blog, and I'll drop that link in the comment section below as well. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy your day.